Welcome to Bearcat Update. As you can tell, I am not Jenny James. Jenny is out this week, and I am Nolan Brooks, but I will be leading you on this fabulous sports journey. Northwest participated in many home sporting events this week. These included baseball, softball, and a home track and field meet. Last Thursday, a sunny 60 degrees brought us a Bearcat baseball doubleheader. Our reporter Jake Wright was out there to catch the highlights.
Thursday afternoon, Northwest plays host to 11th-ranked Central Missouri, the first of a three-game series this weekend. Let us jump to the third inning. After a Luke Hossman solo home run in the previous inning, the Bearcats add another run on this Mo Gutierrez double to deep right field. Scores Bud Bilodeau from second as Northwest scores 3 runs in the bottom of the third. Later in the game, the Bearcats with an 8-3 lead. The Mules not going away. Zach Whalen singles up the middle, cutting the lead to 8-6. In the bottom of the ninth, Bilodeau singles up the middle as Matt Shingle comes around to score the game-winning run as Northwest defeats Central Missouri 9-8. For Bearcat Update, I'm Jake Wright.
The team picked up both games, moving their record to 14-5. Northwest took the first game 9-8 and the second 8-3. After the games, Coach Lowe talked about his team's performance against a tough opponent.
I think talk to the guys. Obviously Central Missouri is a great ball club and very well coached. But we just had to relax and finally get the job done. You're right. It was a sloppy game. 5 errors, a couple 2-out walks. And, it's just I thought we played a little bit tight maybe early, but still competed. And that's what this team has done all year. Is we just go out and compete and play the game and grind it out. So. A couple big performances, and a big hit at the end, and, fortunately able to get a victory.
Saturday, in the final game of the series, the Cats fell to the Mules 7-5. This moves the team to third in conference with a conference record of 14-6. This next week, Northwest plays Missouri Western and another home series with Northwest taking on the number 4 team in the conference, Pittsburgh State. Snow, rain, sun, here in the Midwest, you never know what you're going to get. One of the teams affected most by this unpredictable spring weather is the Maryville High School baseball team. They're just about halfway done with their year, and I sat down with the team to discuss how the weather is affecting their schedule. It's been anything but baseball season for the Spoof Hounds so far, with game after game getting postponed or canceled. So I caught up with Maryville Activities Director Matt Bew and head baseball coach Carson Riedel to find out how they're dealing with Mother Nature.
Well, really, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature, and snow in April isn't that common, and so it's been challenging. But it's just constant communication with coaches and with opponent schools, officials, game workers. So we spend a lot of time on the phone and making sure that we're coming up with plans that best serve our student athletes, so that we can give them the best possible competition experience. And at the same time, try to get those games in and make it a positive, kind of a positive experience for everybody involved. But yeah, it's definitely challenging when you have to deal with all these weather issues early on in the season.
Even in a school gym, Coach Riedel knows how to help his players improve on their game before they hit the field again.
Well, in the gym, you can't simulate grass or dirt. So a lot of what we do is we'll use a softer ball that has a little more bounce to it, sometimes simulate odd hops and things like that. Some of the other things that we do is we'll work a lot on our bodies more so than just and then basic skills, getting down to the fundamentals of the game, how to field ground ball, hip turns for fly balls, things like that, more down to the ground. And then of course out in our multi-building we have a batting cage, so we're able to simulate for the most part hitting live pitching, but other than that there's not a lot you can do to simulate the real deal.
When it comes to scheduling, there's a lot more to it than a simple decision of yes or no to playing.
When you're dealing with issues with field playability, sometimes your window for setup can be really short. And so that's something we have to coordinate with our maintenance staff as well. That's something you don't necessarily have to worry about when you're in a controlled environment like basketball. Really, the only issue that we deal with is maybe road conditions. And of course, when you're dealing with teenage students, parents are definitely hypersensitive to that, as they should be, So we want to make sure that we're keeping them safe and putting them in a safe playing environment and balancing that desire for quality competition as well. So
With sunshine and game time hopefully around the corner, Spoofhound Baseball continues to practice and perfect their art, even if it's inside the school gym. For Bearcat Update, I'm Nolan Brooks. The Spoofhounds sit on a 3-1 record heading into this next week, taking on the Savannah Savages on Tuesday. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around and we have Bearcat softball next. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm Nolan Brooks. The baseball team wasn't the only one scoring runs this weekend. The Northwest softball team hosted a doubleheader against Pittsburgh State last Thursday. The girls took Game 1 5-2. Erin Keeney finished 3 for 4 with 1 RBI. Rebecca Maher went 2 for 4 with 1 run scored, 2 RBIs, and 2 doubles. But the girls dropped Game 2 5-4. The Cats moved to 4th in conference play with an 11-5 record. For this week's version of Coach's Corner, we brought in softball seniors Abigail Gilson and Jessica Roy. How are you guys doing? Thanks for coming.
Good, no problem.
So, right out of the gate, where are you girls from and what brought you here? You know, it's different for everybody, so kind of tell me about that.
I'm from Prairie City, Iowa, and I didn't know a lot about Northwest, but I came on a visit and I loved it, and the softball program ended up working out, so it's been a lot of fun these past 4 years.
Okay.
I am from Liberty, Missouri, and basically my whole family has come here, my parents, my sister, so once I came up here, it was just like felt normal and like a family here, so that's why I came.
That's awesome. And, you know, you guys are a real tight-knit team, you know, so how, kind of talk about how you guys did this past week in the games and then how you're going to prepare going into this week's games against Missouri Southern and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It was a little frustrating to split with Pittsburgh State just because the record wasn't the greatest and we knew that a sweep would look good on our record, but everyone in our conference, they play tough. You know, you come into each game and you're ready to win no matter who you're playing. So Missouri Southern was a challenge last year. We dropped 2 and we shouldn't have, so you know, we can't look past anyone in our conference, so we really need to step up, and their pitchers throw a little bit differently, so we just need to be ready to attack.
Okay, and you guys are seniors and you're moving on, so it's going to be a completely different team next year. What can you kind of tell me what you think it's going to look like for them, even though you won't be here?
Well, our whole team has so much talent. Like, I think everyone can be a starting position out there. We definitely, our class is pretty great right now, but Coach also does a great job at recruiting players to fill in, so I think that they'll still dominate next year as well.
Okay, and now that you guys are almost done with the regular season and you're at 4th in the conference, so you're right there underneath everybody, can you tell me how you're preparing for the postseason as it gets closer?
Yeah, these next few games are really important just to see where we end up in conference. And then hopefully during conference tournament, you know, we're playing hard and we make postseason play after that. So, you know, we're just coming into each game thinking, you know, it's a must win and we got to put it all together.
Okay, and the weather hasn't really agreed with your guys' schedule over the past week or so, and it's made play very tough. So how's it affected your schedule overall, and kind of talk about your training, how you have to switch it up with all the crappy weather?
It's definitely frustrating not being able to get out on our field for practices and having to just stay inside and hit. And so occasionally we go up to the football turf to do some defense. But yeah, it's definitely frustrating not getting able to take some balls on the dirt. But Coach does a really great job at keeping us focused and motivated during all these schedule changes.
Okay, and now, and I know we kind of talked about how you're moving on, but how does it feel to be a part of the program here at Northwest? How special has it been for you guys and all that?
It's been great. Being a student athlete here is an amazing time. You know, our coach really makes sure that we're getting it done in the classroom and that's our #1 priority. So it's been really a great balance and pretty much the best time of my life.
Yeah, I'd say we definitely made great friendships here and that will last for the rest of our lives easily.
That's awesome, awesome. And do you guys have any plans after Northwest? You know, are you going to go play pro softball or anything?
I'm certainly going to play pro if they call me. You know, I'll be waiting, I'll be ready, but should probably try to get a job, so I'm working on that right now.
Yeah, I'm actually still going to be up here at Northwest. I plan on getting my master's and doing a GA program up here. So
That's awesome. So who do you think's going to call you, though? I mean, I don't really personally know any teams, so.
Yeah, the Pride, they'll probably be calling me up shortly. I'm just waiting, yeah.
That is awesome. So I just got to know, how do you guys prepare mentally for games? Is it like the same thing every time, or does it change up each game depending on who you're playing?
Yeah, I think our whole team, we just try to stay loose and have fun. So when we're not having fun, it's not worth it. You know, that's what we want to do. So you watch us, we're usually dancing around and jiving, and then, you know, we play double headers. So every once in a while, if we drop the first game, you know, hey, we got to pick it up. We have another game to play. That one doesn't matter. So really just we stay loose with it all the time and try to have fun.
Okay. And what do you guys want to come out of the rest of the season? I know postseason play is it can be kind of intimidating to some people. So how are you guys going to stay focused for that?
Well, I'd say during the postseason, we kind of just try to take each game one at a time. We never overlook any other team because any team can beat anybody on any given day. But we pretty much just try and stay driven and focused. And Coach actually tells us a little bit about each team before we start playing, like what they're going to pitch or the type of hitters that they have. So we kind of already have an idea what we're going into the games. So, yeah, I mean, do you have any?
Yeah, I think when it comes to conference tournament time, it's fun that we don't have to play a doubleheader anymore. You know, we play one team, hopefully we win, go on to the next team. So I think that should be good for us coming up to the conference tournament in a couple weeks.
Okay, and that is all we have for Coach's Corner. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Bearcat Update. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Northwest women's soccer team is gearing up for their first season under new head coach Mark Gordon. The team is participating in off-season workouts and practices. Our reporter Jawan Bush heads to the field to see how the team is adapting to the new coach and how they will compete in the upcoming season.
Northwest Soccer has gone through a lot of changes with their new head coach Mark Gordon, but they have a lot to look forward to this next season.
He brings enthusiasm. He wants us to be dedicated. So he brings that culture that we may not have had in the past, and I'm very excited for that. He just makes us excited to be on the field, I think, again.
Mark Gordon is already making changes, and he's bringing in 6 freshmen onto the new soccer team, and the team is extremely excited for the new faces and the new talents.
It brings different skills, different talents. You always need new spirits on the team to lift everybody up. It's always nice having returners because we have that chemistry on the field, but having new people is going to be exciting to see what they can bring to the team. So, yeah.
With the new season and a new coach, there is also a new schedule. The new schedule has 8 out of 17 games at home, and the Bearcats are loving the home field advantage the coach has given them.
Having a home advantage is always the best thing no matter what sport you're in, I feel like. So just being able to have our crowd, our parents, family, friends, everyone there definitely helps us and makes us even more excited for game days, and we just know our field, so it'll definitely help.
The upcoming spring games mean a lot for the team and the new head coach, as they get a new feel for the new system and the new team as they lose upperclassmen.
It helps us because instead of just training all spring, we get a feel of the games and the team, how it's going to be for the fall without the freshmen. But for the most part, what 80% of our team is going to be like, and it just keeps us accountable throughout the spring season and then hopefully into the summer for us to all be together as a team to work out.
The Bearcats will be playing both their scrimmages this weekend to see where they sit so far. And I'm Jawan Bush, and this is Bearcat Update.
Thanks, Jawan. Although the Northwest soccer team is looking ahead to the fall season, the Lady Spoofhound soccer team is hitting the meat of their season. Friday, MEC rival Bishop LeBlanc came into town. Snow and cold temperatures won't stop the Lady Spoofhound soccer team on Saturday. Early in the match, Maddie Holtman, beautiful through pass to Morgan Petlin. She dribbles into the box, crosses the defender, gets the ball on her left foot into the back of the net. Hounds go up 2-1 in the 22nd minute. Later in the second half, LeBlanc in the attack, Lainey Graham, comes out of the box to stop the attack, but it would not go as planned. Summer Herner scored for the Golden Eagles, tying the match at 2 goals apiece in the 47th minute. That goal will not go unanswered. Holtman again up to Petlin. No need for a crossover here. Petlin puts it in the back of the net just to the right of the keeper. Hounds push the score to 3-2 in the 66th minute. Late in the second, guess who it is? Petlin again on the attack, putting LeBlanc away with her 3rd goal of the game. Spoofhounds take a cold one, 4-2. After the game, Coach Dale Reuter talked about what it takes to compete in the poor conditions.
It's very difficult. We talked before the game. I think game time temperature was 26 degrees and snowing. We talked about before. I told the girls, the people that can block this cold out and battle through it is going to win this game. It was a battle all the way through. It's always a battle when you play LeBlanc. They're a good team. They're well coached. They're tough girls, and they're never going to quit on you. So it was pretty tough even to fight them and then to fight this weather at the same time. So I'm very, very pleased with what the outcome was.
This week, the Hounds travel to Excelsior Springs for the Excelsior Springs Varsity Girls Soccer Tournament. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, we have a special look at Bearcat Track and Field and Northwest Athletic Trainers. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Last Thursday, Northwest hosted its annual MIAA versus NSIC showdown. Reporter Corbett Evans was there to see what it takes for the athletes, whether they are competing or not competing, to help and make this a successful event. Corbett?
This past Thursday, the Northwest Track and Field was buzzing with activity. The MIAA versus NSIC showdown was being held, and Northwest was the host. I was lucky enough to speak to one of our Northwest athletes, Mercedes Isaacson-Cover, and see how she performed.
I competed in triple jump, long jump, and then the 200, so by the time I was done, I was a little tired, but I think I did pretty good today.
However, it wasn't just the athletes who were working hard. Karen Baker, a fellow Northwest track member, spoke to me about how even though she wasn't competing, herself and others were working very hard to make sure that the day would go smoothly.
Well, with a lot of us that aren't competing, we end up helping. So like I'm working checkout, some people rake and work the jumps and throws, and yeah.
Most people would expect the stress of running in front of friends and family to be overwhelming, but in reality, it seems to be exactly the opposite. Runners seem to enjoy the extra confidence running at home brings.
I personally love home meets. I just feel like the vibe is so much better, and it's always fun seeing the community get together and put something on like this.
I think when it comes to stress, it just depends on the person. Some people can feel more pressure with that, but some get more energized and end up doing better, so it just depends.
This same enthusiasm seems to run throughout the entire team. It appears that no matter the situation, Bearcats are always willing to lend a helping hand.
Our team especially is just very encouraging of each other. Like, we're always watching each other compete and know when someone PRs, and so that's a good team to have. So.
For all things Bearcat sports, this has been Corbett Evans with Bearcat Update, KNWT Channel 8.
Thanks, Corbett. Many of the athletes hit provisional marks in the meet. Audrey Wichman took first place in the women's high jump with a 1.70 meter. Kevin Schultz took first place in the men's high jump, jumping 2.1 meters. Jordan Hammond ran a 5.972, taking first in the 400-meter hurdles. And the last Bearcat to get a provisional mark, Mercedes Isaacson-Cover. She finished first in the triple jump with a distance of 11.79 meters. The women's team took the gold medal, finishing first in the team rankings. The men finished third overall. The team will be continuing their season heading to the Nebraska Kearney Invitational this Friday, April 13th, and Saturday, April 14th. Some of the people who do not get enough credit for all their work behind the scenes are the Northwest athletic trainers. Reporter Becca Ross caught up with some of the trainers about their role to keep the athletes on the field.
In March, Northwest recognized the hard work that our athletic trainers put in throughout the seasons. Head of the sports medicine team, Kelly Quinlan, talks about what she loves about Northwest.
Honestly, like I said, it's the people. It's the relationships that I'm able to build with my student athletes. It's feeling like you make a difference, at least in some way, or hopefully you do. And then, also obviously being around the competitive nature of athletics is fun, and it gives you drive when you're around people that are, have had high goals and, for themselves and for the team and for others. And being around that really just helps you kind of stay motivated.
Working with hundreds of athletes, the athletic trainers utilize the great training facilities and equipment provided to them. Assistant athletic trainer Nick Peters and Kelly talk about the facilities and how they are important to helping the athletes.
Well, yeah, we have a great facility. We have great support from our boosters and former athletes and everything to be able to use and have this area as nice as it is. We use the pool a lot, especially for lower body injuries. And in the sports that I'm with, you get the knee and ankle injuries quite a bit. So
we utilize, obviously, this space, our athletic training room, which is the David and Susan Colt Athletic Training Room. Very blessed to have the facility that we have. We utilize our HydroWorks therapy pool, and that's a great tool to have as well because water therapy is very beneficial. We also utilize the lower level Lampkin Activity Center and our weight room. We're very close with our strength conditioning staff. That's so important, but also the outdoor facilities because we want to get them in a functional scenario. So if it's a soccer player, I want to get them on the field. If it's a basketball player, I want to get them on the court. So we'll utilize a lot of different areas of the facility, but the majority of our rehab is done here in-house, here in our facility.
Being an athletic trainer isn't all glitz and glam. With long hours, hundreds of students, and little recognition of all they do, it takes a passion for athletics and the well-being of people to drive this team to do what they do best.
The one thing that people have to understand about our profession is our hours are coaches' hours. Like, they set our schedule. When they set practice, we're there an hour before practice to get them ready. We're there during practice to wait for injuries to happen, and then we take care of them after. So we're oftentimes the first ones here and the last ones to leave. So we put in a lot of hours, a lot of hard work. And obviously our entire goal is just to manage the total well-being of our athletes, to make sure that they're, physically, mentally, and just personally, healthy, and that they know they have someone to go to. And so I think that we're that balance between the grind of being an athlete and being a student here on campus.
Here at Northwest, I have such a good relationship with the athletes that are here, the coaches that are here, and they treat me great. It's very easy to come to work every day and look forward to working with them. So as far as the recognition part, it's athletic trainers usually don't get into the profession for that reason, but they definitely they notice what we do and they say thank you. They're very appreciative.
Giving compassionate care to all is just one of the many things this team does best. What may seem like a lot of work, to these trained professionals is a love for their job. For Bearcat Update, I'm Becca Ross.
Thanks, Becca. That's a wrap on this week's show of Bearcat Update, but first, since Jenny isn't here, we're going to take a look at my top 3 this week. Number 1, men and women's tennis is in action against Emporia State Tuesday. Number 2, baseball is in action Wednesday against Missouri Western. And 3, track and field head to Nebraska Kearney for the Loper Invitational. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Bearcat Update. You can follow us on Twitter at BearcatUpdate_8 or watch all of our previous episodes on YouTube at KNWT 8. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Thanks for sticking to the end of the show. You can find all of our previous episodes down here and last week's episode up here.